Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Around the Lake. This one is a focus on our economic development. I'm Bill Russell, President of Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce, and we have our co-host Kathleen Rose with Rose and Associates. And Kathleen has been recognized by Business Today and the Charlotte Business Journal as one of the most influential women in the region, and a member of the Urban Land Institute. And it's great having you as the co-host today. Wayne Herron is the assistant town manager of the town of Cornelius, and he's going to walk through some of the downtown projects. And we have, with the Cain Center for the Arts, we have Justin Dionne, and he's going to be talking probably the most significant downtown project that we've had in some time. But I'm going to kick it over to Kathleen. Kathleen, do you have some questions you might want to ask of Wayne?
Yes, thanks. Good morning, everybody. And thanks, Bill and Justin and Wayne. As you know, there's a lot going on with the downtown. For a long time, it was just antiquity was really, and of course, the town government center was the primary focus of downtown. But now, with the Cain Center for the Arts, has really spawned a lot of other interest and development in and around the downtown. So can you highlight all those projects or some of the ones that you can with us?
Be glad to, and appreciate the opportunity to be with you today. I will say the Cain Center for the Arts is the most catalytic project that I think we've had in many, many, many years. And it is something that is generating so many offshoots as far as development requests and development proposals, and is really transforming our downtown or our town center. I'm going to mention a couple of public investments that we're making because of the Cain Center. One, we hope that will come along just as the Cain Center is about to open or soon thereafter, is the development of what we call the Festival Street, right out here in front of Town Hall, in front of the Cain Center for the Arts. We hope that that will be a great addition for outdoor entertainment, outdoor festivals, in addition to the park area that is adjacent to the Cain Center. So we're excited about that. We feel like that's something that will really transform Catawba Avenue, which is really the main street right here in front of the Cain Center and Town Hall. In addition to that, as you can imagine, the Cain Center is attracting a lot of ancillary development. We have a lot of businesses and restaurants that want to be close to the Cain Center. They want to be nearby. They want to take advantage of the foot traffic. They want to take advantage of more people in our town center area. We do have a proposal just adjacent to the Cain Center that would be looking at possibly renovating some historic structures with the Gordon Cash and Rob Stamey properties, the Corner Oak LLC. We'll definitely be working with them. There's potential parking agreements that we might look at that could benefit the town, that could benefit the Cain Center. And there's also retail and some housing. So our board members will be evaluating that thoroughly over the next 4 to 6 months. We'll be seeing where that goes. We also have some opportunity as you look further down Catawba, and I'll stay on Catawba for a moment, the preservation of the Phil Howard property and the homes there. And we're looking at what type of mixed-use development might work there to promote town center, but also historic preservation. I'd like these conversations where we bring so many of our important groups together and we work together for the good of historic preservation, retail, office, and what's good for our town center. While I'm on Catawba, just a couple of other good notes. If you hadn't been to Thig's, what a great cocktail bar. That's a great addition to our town center area. And Cosmatis just does a great job. That is a great addition. So many citizens seem to enjoy that. But I don't want to leave out our standard Old Town Public House. They are doing outstanding. Just because the roof caved in on the structure next door, which we're working to correct that, he is open for business, doing a great job. Case Warnamundi and Cosmatis are working together. We established Cornelius' first social district, where you're able to carry your drink outside, enjoy conversation, enjoy talking to your neighbors, and enjoy a wonderful evening outside. We think that'll be a great addition when the Cain Center opens.
Wayne, speak about that more in depth, because a lot of people may not know what we're talking about with the social district, and that's very important. And we're probably going to see that in other areas like Burkdale. Some of
Yes,
explain
absolutely.
what is the social district and how much of the area does it entail?
So under North Carolina alcoholic beverage laws, if you buy an alcoholic beverage, you're required to stay in the establishment that you buy it. The state created social districts to try to help facilitate business and goodwill and promote retail and promote other developments around our restaurants and our establishments. So they created what's called a social district. So businesses are allowed, if the local government creates it, patrons can go from one business to the next. They have to have a cup that identifies the social district. So if they buy a drink at Old Town Public House, they can't carry it over to Town Hall. They can't carry it to Food Lion, but they can carry it anywhere in the district, which in Cornelius, that goes from Old Town Public House down to Figs. So that block is open for people to go from one to the other. You might get a drink at Figs and then walk down to sit with some friends at Old Town Public House. You can do that. And Bill, you're right. I think we're going to have more here in Cornelius. I've heard that Burkdale is going to have one. That would be a great place for one. I heard on the news the other night, we've got more, some in Matthews, some in Salisbury. It's a great thing that the General Assemblies have done, and I think it will benefit all of us.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Sorry. Well, that came out of the pandemic, right? When everybody was trying to figure out the outdoor dining thing. Yeah. So according to the North Carolina Downtown Development Association, of which we're a member, about a dozen communities have signed on, and some of them are a little hesitant, like Charlotte, because they're struggling with how to make it work and keep it in the guardrails, so to speak, of control. So the important thing are the boundaries of the district and making sure it's clear as to what the boundaries are. It's not the whole town. It's not the whole area of downtown, et cetera. So I think that's going to be important going forward.
Yeah, I think our boundaries are very well set. We visited some of the ones that exist, like in Kannapolis around the ballpark there. I think so far they're working very well in this region. And I think it's a great thing.
Wayne, one of the most significant projects that you hit on is the Cain Center for the Arts, and it is really going to transform this region, not just Cornelius. I think most people who are watching this know what the Cain Center is, but Justin, for those who may not have been exposed to what this facility is going to bring to the region, talk a little bit about what is the Cain Center for the Arts and what can we expect in terms of your programming.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, so thank you all for inviting me here today. Always happy to spend some time with you all and with Wayne and everyone as well, Kathleen, Bill. So Cain Center for the Arts, I'll give a quick background as I can. Really was started because of Town of Cornelius voters, right? With that vision that we're here today talking about, which was the development of downtown Cornelius, really creating an economic driver, actual downtown. So it was a part of a lot of other key elements as well. You mentioned antiquity and others. So the Cain Center was started because of bonds were passed by the voters for downtown economic redevelopment, out of a bigger package as well to kind of seed our project. From there, a nonprofit organization was created, which that's who I work for as the executive director, is the Cain Center for the Arts nonprofit organization. We originally partnered with the town, and we're a separate organization, so we are not the town, but we are partners with the town. We do work hand in hand with the town, obviously, as we're working on projects and economic growth of the downtown. So it's been a long. I've been here. Actually, I just celebrated my 5th year. So I've been here 5 years now working on this. Some of our board members have been working on this for longer than that. Some of them I know Mayor Washam, Wayne has been working on this in some way or another as planner and now, deputy town manager as well. And so for, more than 7 years. So as you all know, we've led a capital campaign of $25 million, of which we are right there at the cusp of achieving. And we did officially break ground back in May of 2021. We're under construction now. Bill, I'm going to share my screen because I have a cool, one of our recent videos that our construction company Edifice gave us. I'm going to kind of play this while I'm giving everyone an update. So this is a video from May, from back end of May. So if you can imagine now, of course, there's been even more work done. But you'll see here the construction site as of the end of May. A couple cool items about the center. So this is the whole, if you will call it the campus, is what we're calling it. But if you had looked at that video back there on the back, on the left side, you see Oak Street Mill and the Cornelius Arts Center. So it's important to mention that because we are currently operating there now. So the Cornelius Arts Center out of Oak Street Mill, long history, long-standing arts center here in town, operated by the town's park department for many years, was actually transitioned to being operated by our organization back in September of 2021. So we currently have right now summer camps, which is why I'm wearing these, so that way I can actually hear you all, because I've got lots of kids running around enjoying art summer camps right now this week, of which they're happening all summer. So if you're looking for a camp for your kid or a nephew or someone like that or niece for the summer, we still have availability in some of our camps more toward the August timeframe. We do also have exhibits. So actually this Friday, tomorrow night, we have a free exhibit opening reception of a wonderful artist, Junior Gomez, who's got a new exhibit here in the Cornelius Art Center that will run from now through August. So you can come check that out, free opening tomorrow night, as well as you could just come and visit our exhibit now during the day, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. We also started a concert series this year that every concert sold out. We had 4 concerts called Music at the Mill, was a wonderful series here that we did. So I say all this to say we're operating now as a kind of warm up, if you will, to the new center opening. The new center itself, I'll kind of switch a little bit of sharing real quickly to our renderings of what, when completed, it will look like. Hopefully you all can see these
can.
pictures
Yeah.
here. Great.
So
I'm going to zoom in. So this is what the whole site, as you noticed from the video, was all dirt. This is what will look like when completed. And it's why we call it a campus too, because it's really important that this is so much more than just an arts center, right? Like our mission as an organization is to provide exceptional visual arts, performing arts, and social experiences to the Lake Norman region, right? So yes, downtown economic redevelopment is a big part of our drive. We take very seriously our responsibility as being what you all just mentioned at the very beginning of one of the biggest catalyst projects for downtown Cornelius. We take that responsibility seriously, and we're going to make sure that we're always being thoughtful about that responsibility. That being said, we as an organization, a business, look to serve the entire Lake Norman region. So, all of what we call the 4-county area of our region, being North Meck, South Iredell, East Lincoln, and West Cabarrus counties, and the municipalities within those. So within that, we have the building here, about 35,000 square foot building with a 400-seat theater, art gallery, very spacious 2-story lobby there. Office spaces, of course, for support for staff and all, but then 3 classrooms, one of which is a dance studio. We'll also have backstage areas as well for support. And then you'll see these great also public spaces. So this wonderful, beautiful town park, which is actually owned and maintained by the town of Cornelius. Although we do have cross easements, we have all the documents in place, and everything for working together on that. Us and the town, again, as we mentioned, will always be a partnership. Then on the corner here, we've got what's a great plaza. And if you bought a brick, this is where your brick will go. So your brick will go out here in this plaza. Or if you bought an indoor brick, some of it will go inside. As we open, when we open, which is slated to be the beginning of 2023, is slated opening. Stay tuned for later this, maybe September, October, for an official announcement on what that opening would look like. We will have kind of 3 legs of the programming stool. So from a performance aspect, imagine, similar to maybe the Blumenthal, except in a smaller way. We'll have performances from, everything from musicians to touring theater shows to touring children's theater experiences, dance companies, symphony, all those kind of things. You'll be able to buy tickets, come see them, bring your family and friends. It'll be a wonderful time. As well as we'll have exhibits in our art galleries. And then, of course, we'll continue the education programs that we have now. So we'll continue to have art programs, visual art programs for youth and adults. as well as eventually open up performing arts programs as well. So educational. So we'll have like dance classes and others in the space also. And then after our first, the first 6 months, we're gonna allow ourselves to kind of have, for lack of a better phrase, a soft opening, because with a building of this size that's never been ran before, operated before, a brand new staff and everything as well. We're gonna need to make sure we know how to operate it correctly. So we will be announcing our more public rental program probably around the summer of 2023, in which case then the space will be fully open to be able to be rented for private events, conferences, dance performances, music performances. You could have wedding receptions in there, all kinds of opportunities in the center itself. So we're going to make sure that we have this space available. So I'm going to go through some of these for the community use as a whole. This is actually our downstairs classroom. Here is a rendering of what the dance studio will look like when finished. This is a rendering from like as if you were standing on Town Hall, what the center would look like, all lit up with that public plaza there. You could really imagine, if you've ever been to the Asheville area when they have like an arts market, and they have those like arts vendors all set up outside there, or even perhaps like a downtown, growers market or something like that here in Cornelius, you could have in that space as well. There again, view there. And this actually includes what Wayne was mentioning, which is that festival street. So these renderings, they integrated like when the festival street would be completed, perhaps this is how it might look like with it would integrate. So you can imagine Catawba being a lot more, kind of welcoming and event friendly in that way. This is a rendering of the gallery there. And then of course, this is the theater. It really is going to be an absolute beautiful building, a beautiful space that the whole community and the lake area will be able to be very proud of. But again, we also are focusing on not just the building, but what's going to happen in the building, right? The people that will come and enjoy shows there, the children that will come to classes. We have now that we're on the tail end of COVID, we've re-engaged in our community impact programs. So we were able to deliver some free arts education programs from Children's Theater of Charlotte to local elementary schools here in the area this spring. We just finished our first year of private music lessons here in the community. And we do offer scholarships as well to all of our classes and camps.
Justin, what's the capacity of the theater?
400 seats.
400, okay.
That's great. And, the Cain Arts Center is a perfect example of what we call a public-private partnership, right? Where a project becomes a catalyst. It's a combination. It's not wholly funded or carried by the town of Cornelius, but by this combination of partners. And it really creates a great economic impact in terms of, construction jobs, permanent jobs.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember the numbers, Justin, but, do you remember what that looked like in terms of economic impact for the region? It's not just a community. I think we estimated folks may come as far as, 50 miles away to come and enjoy things. So
yes,
talk a little bit about that.
Oh goodness, I'll have to pull up that study to remember all the numbers. But you're absolutely right. Like so it's more than just so as you mentioned, our funding and our operational model, as well as the campaign there as well, right? I mean, came from a combination of sources, both being public and private, right? So we received obviously generous support from the town of Cornelius through those bonds that the voters approved. The town also donated the land that the building sits upon and the plaza sits upon, and Cain Center actually owns the organization. The nonprofit actually has the deed to that land. So our organization owns the building and will be responsible for the improvements on that. The Mecklenburg County gave some funding. The state of North Carolina gave some generous funding, and then the private and then the private community as well. We have wonderful private donors who in this community. I mean, so multiple projects, over 1,000 private donors from the community, families that have given to this project, local businesses as well, and then obviously generous support from the public sector as well, being the state, the county, and the town. And we will continue and need that support continued as well into the operations, right? So that we can continue to offer the programs in education, the performances, the community engagement, all that. And we'll look for that partnership. And again, to Kathleen's point and to Wayne's point from earlier, this project already seems as if it's doing exactly what the hope was, which was to help bring about more development. And so, the idea that Wayne said with the potential project, next door, right? That would be a combination of uses, potentially some parking solutions as well, OMB, all these different things. These are things that are going to generate jobs. They're going to generate, sales tax. They're going to generate, income for the community and the town also. And that's will have been driven in a way by this project, which was the goal. So it's understanding that idea that like the upfront investment in the Cain Center project helps to then drive the further economic growth of the town.
And just in light of the supply shortages, though, we're still on track with the original opening. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, we are on track right now. And a lot of that is due to, the wonderful team at Edifice, general contractors that we've been working with. Because if you'll remember, we broke ground in May of 2021, but we actually went to bid back in February of 21, which was when that there was this dip, and we just hit that dip at exactly the right time. And Edifice, because they were so smart, I will say, even while we were still in negotiating the final contract with them, they went ahead and started buying out. They went ahead and started buying out subs because they just knew. They knew what was coming. So that leadership was fantastic.
That's great. Kathleen, you had a question?
Yeah, well, I was just making the point that, so many times people get concerned because they say, oh, it spawns more development and, we're concerned about how much and what development and whatnot. But the important thing, I think, to remember is it's not just about the physical assets and the structures and the development and the traffic and all the things that people get concerned about, rightfully so, but to also remember that they create jobs and opportunities for people, which makes a more kind of diverse and resilient community. So, we all know what the news is telling us about we're hitting a downturn. And the last downturn, the Lake Norman area fared very well because it did have that quality of life and diversity that still attracted hundreds, if not thousands of people to move here, even during a recession. So I think for everybody to remember, in all kinds of cycles, we have ups and downs, and these kinds of projects really help stabilize a community.
When I can say too, Kathleen, we have we take, again, back to that responsibility I was saying earlier, is downtown, economic driver. We take our position as a local business the same way. I mean, right, we're currently expanding. Obviously, we're getting ready for operations, so we're staffing up. I mean, we're going to be a full-time staff of 9 by the time we open, and that's just the full-time, right? We're going to have numerous part-time, hourly, contractors, everything underneath as well, that will all, be located in the areas or commute to the areas as well, right? And on top of that, we are going to have partnerships and be a resource for other local organizations that are other arts-based organizations or businesses to help them grow as well. So, we take that. I mean, for instance, Davidson Community Players, right? I mean, we're definitely going to be working with them as a space where they could be performing their shows, and that gives them a chance to sell more tickets and grow themselves, right? There's going to be a lot of opportunities like that.
Excellent. So you said there's a little bit of a funding gap. You always need help. How can people help if they want to get involved, Justin?
Absolutely. We're always raising money because we always have ways that we can that we could be serving more people, right? So that being said, we're wrapping up. We have $650,000 left to reach that $25 million goal. And then we also are moving into announcing our annual fund, because once we open, we need to make sure we have funds to operate the building and keep the building operated, as well as, put on those programs. So we do have annual fund that people can donate to, and those donations go to support things like our education programs, scholarships, the school programs I was telling you about into there. They also can help us to do things like make sure that we're keeping our tickets within, an affordable range when it comes time to sell those tickets and everything else. So that's a way that you can donate and get involved. We're always going to be selling bricks. We have 4,000 bricks out there, and we've sold a lot, but we have not sold 4,000. So you can always still buy a brick forever and ever.
Okay. Is there a website folks should go to if they're interested?
Yes, ma'am. You can visit cainarts.org there, and you can find out information about programs, about ways you can give, ways you can volunteer. Opening the new center, we're going to have lots of opportunities for volunteers as well, right? Ushers, people that can serve as ambassadors at the front desk, board members, committee members. We're always looking for volunteers also.
Great.
Well, we want to thank you for being on. And Wayne, I think the next time we bring you on focusing on Cornelius, we'll have Old Mecklenburg Brewery and some of the programs associated with that. And Kathleen, I think our next trip is either over to Davidson or Huntersville. Do we have that lined up?
We do. I don't remember which community we're going to next. I think it was Huntersville. So next quarter. So when does that put us?
We will be back in about 2 months, two or 3 months. So with this particular focus on economic development, I want to thank everybody for watching. And Justin, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
With the Cain Center for the Arts, Wayne Herron, our assistant town manager, and Kathleen, thank you for co-hosting today's show.
Okay, thanks. We'll see everybody in, I guess, September, right?
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.